Awkward. All right, we're good to go, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 in a brand new, fresh best of 3. Two pretty, I'd say, more on the side of unknown players, but people we know from casting in the past will give us a great game here. In the bottom left, we have my Insanity's up-and-coming Terran, the yellow player Botvinnik.
In the top right, as the blue Protoss, he is Rail for True Esports.
All right, so Rail, Garrett Rail, better known as Verdi, used to be a player who was like really known for pretty much just all-ins and some instances getting a little bit BM. And he wasn't that interesting to watch, to be honest. But in the last, I'd say 3 to 5 months, he has become an intensely and immensely better player. We saw this happen with Gung Fu Banda a little bit. If you guys remember, before he hit his WCS run, every time we cast him in Zotac Cups, it was just all in after all in after all in. It was no fun. It was no good. Then boom, he learns to macro, qualifies for WCS, beats Hasuabs, and is a great player. Rail's kind of on that same path right now. He's not there yet, but I am expecting to see better things from him as time goes on.
Well, I'm interested to see the TVP that we're still going to have. I mean, it was like, yeah, we wanted Welmu just because he got so close. No, he got in, didn't he, last season?
Welmu did get in, yeah.
Yeah.
He was knocked out of the groups. Not many people made it out of the first set of group stages.
Yeah, right. So, okay, so I mean, that would have been a cool storyline, but there's another European qualifier that still is going to happen, like no, not next week, the week after or something like that. But this is the one where you have 2 qualifying spots. So this is the easier one, quote unquote, right? You have double the chance, technically. So it's that always sucks. But if Rail could provide some really good games against Botvinnik, who is, I mean, most of the reason we chose this, then that's going to really impress me, having defeated Lukian's kind of like an outlier, right? Because it's a test of can you deal with wonky stuff. Okay, yes, you can.
Right, that could go one of a couple different directions. Yeah.
But then Welmu as well, that's actually pretty good. And then Botvinnik, who's had such good PvP, I'm actually really impressed by Rail. And he would have to go on to face, let's see here, probably Elroy. Actually, just Zerg. Just Zerg. Okay, hopefully his PvZ is good after this, basically. He's actually only 2 rounds away from qualifying. They both are 1, 2.
Yeah, it's actually getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
All right, so by the way, Mr. Boris Makarov is spamming nice usernames, Twitter, and chat. If you guys aren't already, you should be following him on Twitter, because not only did he do this cool thing where he worked really hard to make those skins that we kind of showed, and again, I love we have the Twitch admin, by the way, saying like maybe I should set a site-wide notification about what happened. No, you shouldn't. But nice username's also our YouTube manager. He was at DreamHack Austin with us. Joey's just a really fantastic guy. So if you guys aren't already following him, make sure to do so. Give him some love. But yeah, also I guess same guy asking about the hair thing. So we'll talk about the game as it starts shaping up for certain. But for those who did miss it, we had about a week, I think, a week and a half, we were running this vote to color Zamgrab's hair because she just wanted to dye her hair. I don't think the color mattered too much to her. And it was like red versus white for a while, then blue took over, and then white kicked ass, and so we ended up on white at the end of the day. And thank God so many people like voted for it with money, because that ended up being expensive. What did that come to, like $300 and something or $400 close?
Yeah,
to?
350. Yeah, and I'm sure because I didn't do much like research. I did some research on the process, but still like not a ton. I had mostly like other people telling me what was going to happen, and then I didn't do much research on the salon because I don't live in Houston, which is where we had it done, and I had no idea. And when you go to pricey salons, they don't put the price down usually.
They want to trick you. You feel guilty about like showing up. Like, well, I guess I'm already here, so
yeah, exactly.
That's how they get you.
They also were like, well, you can either have our level 1 recruit or you can have our level 4 master, like whatever it was.
I remember,
they had levels, and I was like, well, my dyeing, I want to have like a good, like, you know, experienced person. The cutting, I don't care as much.
Yo, real
so
talk,
that probably
guys,
cost a lot extra.
Every woman in that salon was like the cutest girl I've ever seen, like straight up.
They actually had a girl that had like hair that I kind of wanted after seeing it. It was like platinum, but it had a bit of like a purple kind of tinge to it. It looked really cool. Plus, she in general is cool. She's like a Sailor Moon tattoo.
Yeah, on her thigh.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, enough about that. We'll talk more Texas stories later. We do have a Liberator coming in, but as we see out of Rail, despite trying to put these pylons back there, it doesn't quite reach. However, this does only deny about 2 mineral patches, so not the worst case scenario, but certainly not something you want to have to deal with. As this is like that one spot that is just way too perfect.
There is one spot that is way too perfect. We did figure that out, but I would have thought the other one would have been the one he tried.
Yeah. Regardless, though, this is gonna force the Stargate to come out.
Are you real?
Okay. You know what? That tilt factor is something you always got to remember when it comes to StarCraft 2.
If the other one couldn't do it, then he couldn't put one in between the two because he blocked himself out with them.
Well, there's not enough space of the mineral blocking it anyways, but I think it's just he knew it would take so long to get the Stargate up and he'd lose so much mining. And...
We've seen that one particular spot that looks like it can't be touched except by, you know, air, obviously, but we've never seen it actually force someone to tap out.
No,
if that's really the situation, then it would have been fixed a while ago.
It reminds me something similar to when we had, I think it was like Accra or something. He misplaced his Nexus by 1 grid point versus Polt and just like tapped out right away. Did you change your shirt? What the fuck? Were you always wearing white?
I took off my hoodie.
Man, I'm just so used to your hoodie and like a gray shirt or something underneath. Like, I look
I
over.
don't wear any gray shirts.
Well, I don't know. My point is, like, I look over and it just looks like you got changed in the middle of a game or something. Okay, let me join you. Which one is this? Like, the intro?
Frozen
Temple. All right, game number 2. Dialing up here on Frozen Temple. It is 1-0 for this guy in the bottom right. He won the game with a single Liberator. Can he do it again? It's going to be the Yellow Terran player from My Insanity, Botvinnik.
In the top left as the blue Protoss, he's Rail.
So, we got a bit of love coming in chat here from TakeTV, which is a great feel, of course. Gotta give some love, counter love, I guess, like Naruto and all that. But I think a big part of this is them. I know that they want to cast the main event for the TING Open. And I'm just going to say this for the TakeTV fans out there so everyone transparently knows. It's actually not up to us. We did ask if they could cover the qualifiers, and that wasn't a problem. But last season, TING specifically wanted us, like, because we suggested and offered it. We said, like, hey, you'll get way more viewers if we get, like, O Gaming and TakeTV involved. But they specifically said they only wanted one English stream last season. I'm not sure if that'll be their stance again, but just so everyone's fully aware, like, again, in case you're one of the TakeTV fans out there, we love TakeTV, and we invite them to friggin' everything we do. If they're ever not invited to something we do, it's usually on the sponsor side of things, just so everyone is fully aware, because I don't want all this love to turn to hate later on or something.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, isn't much else to talk about game-wise, because that last game ended so early.
Well, so there's an interesting point you brought up for the pylons. Like, you couldn't build another pylon back there. I don't know if the stalkers would have reached if they had whittled back or not. But what I find really interesting was we actually didn't have like it wasn't a Stargate opening at a rail in the first place, which is just so bloody common nowadays.
I mean, it does happen. I wouldn't say like super common, but it does happen. And it's like if there was going to be, if you don't usually open Stargate, but there was a map where you're like, maybe I should open Stargate, that would have been Dusk Towers. Again, we don't see that spot like abused too often, and I think it was maybe a case like the pylon being like one spot too far over or something like that. But yeah, unfortunately, I guess, you know, next time we see him versus a Terran, maybe he will build a Stargate on that map. But of course, if he wins this, it'll be nothing but Zerg from here on out. Oh, look, a Stargate. I feel like that is damn Liberators. I'm not gonna have that happen again. Even though there's definitely not an abusive spot on Frozen Temple like the one we just saw, there are spots that are, you know, terrible to deal with. They suck.
I just want to address something you said though. It is pretty much Zerg beyond this point, except for one exception, and that's Strange. Strange, the guy who was robbed the hardest at
he
Hack.
beat Elroy. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're right.
He also beat Pulse, but got completely screwed by game mechanics. Did you watch that game, by the way? I was there live for that. That was like that was really heartbreaking.
I saw the highlights of Game 5, and then I watched Game 6.
Yeah, well, I guess if you saw the highlights of Game 5, that's all you really do need to see to know what we're talking about. For those who don't, Strange, the Protoss player, he's up next. The winner of this plays Strange, whether it's Terran or Protoss. And he had absolutely won a game versus Polt. That was a match point decider, but the timer ticked down for the in-game clock, and the stalemate detection went off, and it got forced into a tie, even though he had very clearly won the game. So it was It was the first time in like what 5-6 years of StarCraft anyone's ever seen something like that in that sort of situation happen.
That really confused. Well, because the draw timer has only been in effect for the last couple of years. It didn't always exist.
Okay.
Because I was really
confused. It's been in effect since I started StarCraft. That was like start of Heart at the Swarm.
It might have been at the start of Heart of the Swarm. I'm not sure, but even then, I don't know, because I remember on Habitation Station there was there was a ton of draw situations, thanks a lot to like Swarm hosts in Heart of the Swarm, where I'm pretty sure building, because building had to die if a unit died or was injured, it didn't reset it, right? And that was like one of the problems. It wasn't resetting.
To be honest, I don't know the rules.
And I could have sworn there was a game where it was like the only possible thing anyone could do was like attack a group of like Zerg air units in the top position, but they couldn't actually kill them because of point defense drones, and that didn't count unless point defense kind of structures. Anyway, there's a Widow Mine drop. About the draw timer thing. Not a bad split, but definitely like one that wasn't perfect. The medevac does get away.
It got I was gonna say the medevac getting out is probably the biggest deal here. Getting 4 probes, not the worst thing in the world, but he didn't scout, and that's what I'm kind of hoping. Botvinnik dips in here to actually take a peek at what's going on. It's a little bit risky, but it's good to actually confirm what's in play, and he actually gets a full scout off. Now he's gonna die to a Phoenix on the way home, and this was inevitable, but getting to see what was going on was a pretty important deal to know. Okay, a couple of oracles, Phoenix, whatever. Now there's a robo. It's the biggest scout to see that there is no Twilight Council, I feel. In fact, did he see the robo bay? That's a pretty big question. No, so he doesn't know about the disruptors that are likely on deck, or in other weirder cases, Colossus.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that only 1 Phoenix came out, but 2 oracles came out as well, and they're just being a team together, I suppose. And that's fine. It really does feel like it was because of the last game. But I was gonna say, like, we talked about Ravens. I did for like a second because of that one draw game, but we actually have a Raven here, and this is interesting. It's not unheard of, Ravens in Legacy, the Void, but it's usually not the preferred unit. It's still pretty clumsy, like it's still pretty slow, even though they get speed or acceleration. I forget which one. Boosted. Oh, so I'm Phoenix. And it has that control priority, which is very, very, very annoying. But in the right circumstances, like a point defense rune could really help out if you want to do a Doom drop into the main base. Auto turrets can really do quite well soaking up hits or just dealing damage if they don't. I wonder if this is going to be for a big old push or a big old drop.
Yeah, that's a good point. I am like it's funny just how big of a difference the point defense drone versus auto turret mechanic became, and it is Colossus, by the way, not disruptors. I actually kind of like this for this situation, but going back to the point of this for a second, like, so everyone's fully aware, auto turrets do like a stupid amount of damage. Like, it is not a minor amount of damage. If you ignore an auto turret for its full duration, it will do way too much damage in like 12 seconds or 20 seconds, whatever it's up for. Now, the constant revelations aren't really doing much, but it is keeping Botvinnik's army completely in check. So Rail knows where he needs to be. He knows where to counter for this, and he's set up for this fight. I mean, there's going to be force fields. There's going to be guardian shields. And with that Colossus especially, I don't think this is a fight Botvinnik could or should take.
Oh, well, he's going to try. Again, the Colossus doesn't have as much damage as it used to. Auto turrets do go down, and the Colossus is almost already dead. There's a lot of adept just making this a little bit tricky.
Well,
and Immortals is still alive.
The point defense drone did kill a considerable, or soak up a considerable amount of the adept attacks, but if that Colossus died, I would have really liked that dive in. I guess the other thing for Botvinnik, though, is he did pull back. Like, he didn't sacrifice a whole army to make that happen. Oh, that awkward feel when you can't stim.
It's awkward when Oracles kill a bunch of Marauders. All right, so that wasn't a terrible engagement. I do think he wished he would have killed any of the more important units, though. Like the Sentries, the Immortals, the Colossus, like I said, was getting pretty low, if only he'd been able to kill that. But it still was a really decent trade, and certainly Rail should not feel too confident pushing out. I'm actually not sure as to why he pushed out so far. Engaging into a town like a concave would have been very bold of him, especially if he didn't know exactly where the army was. He knows where half the army is. He doesn't know about these 2 medevacs going to the top right. They're going to hit that main base, and they can start tagging a lot of these really important structures, or even just the production. If there's any, like, pylons that can be sniped, he's going to go in the very back, however. Could get the forge. Not too many probes to kill here.
that's going to go down. By the way, we got a $15 donation. We'll get to the message after. So thank you very much to Schizophrenic II, I guess. Pylon Gate depowered is kind of nice, but it's not going to obviously kill much. He was trying to pressure into the third while this was going on, but left with a good amount of units defending. I mean, Rail is really... He's covering his holes very well, I guess is the best way I can phrase that. Like, he's not finding himself with a lot of openings for Botvinnik to exploit.
Yes. Yeah, he's covering his holes really well.
Yep. And I stand by that statement.
You should. It wasn't lewd at all. So another drop into the main base. This is actually kind of funny. It's so unexpected to drop in the exact same location with a different drop that this could have done more damage. Unfortunately, it wasn't fully unloaded. Just enough units were split off to help out. This one's covered by a photon overcharge. Just barely doesn't die. All over that third base, the one weakness.
He finally finds a hole, sticks the Marauders right in there, and they do absolutely tear everything apart.
Yep. So that was actually kind of risky for Botvinnik to do that because he didn't have any medevacs with that attack.
He doesn't have concussor shells.
Oh, well, that kind of sucks.
I mean, obviously not that big of a deal. You don't need to slow an Exos down, but just noticing the probes getting away and stuff like that. So shutting down that third base was a pretty big deal because I think one of the aspects of this wasn't necessarily the kill, but it was the final, just getting that defense torn open. Finding that your opponent is not invincible, that he's not completely able to thwart every attack, and that you do have an opportunity to actually get in there at some point, some angle. So this gives Botvinnik, not only a kill in the Nexus, fantastic, but hope to know that he can keep doing this.
Yeah, we actually have Rail. I mean, I think he's so desperate to take care of these drops. He's starting to build Phoenix again, which, I don't know. It's going to take a while to get up to a good number of Phoenix, actually take down the medevacs and taking away from different parts of your army that you should be getting as, the game goes on. So whether that's upgrades or maybe Charge Lots or High Templars as, the game's getting to that late game. He doesn't have any of that now.
Once upon a time, Phoenix Colossus was actually a great build to have versus Terran. I don't think it's the case anymore, and I like the Disruptors coming out now, but it might be a little too late. This is a rather large army that is going to get caught between two locations, but that's what he wants. He wants Rail to respond. So starts sending in over here, going to snipe off another base, but realizing, nope, Rail not taking the bait. Botvinnik backs off once again. Really good decision making out of this Terran.
If there was... Actually, no, never mind. I was going to say, if there's any amount of Vikings, that Colossus would already be dead and gone, but there's really not any need for it. That Colossus could just be stemmed upon if you really wanted to take an engagement. In fact, with the army split up like it is, I feel like Botvinnik could have taken an engagement, especially as Rail gets into gets out of his little choke. But instead, Botvinnik goes for a quad drop into the main base. There are already units in the main, however, so this was a bad idea. Does get that one Colossus. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know about sticking around, even though Marauders can take a couple of hits, so he does back off.
The medevac with units in it's going to be the one to get out of there, by the way. So preemptive move-outs, because this Observer did get some vision on the tail end of that army. Very important that Rails had this vision. If he had to guess, there's not even coin flips. You just don't respond to Botvinnik the way you need to. But the fact that he's had eyes on the army for a majority of these engagements, whether it was Revelations early on or Observers now, he's split his army accordingly and appropriately several different times. Botvinnik taking a fourth base behind this, I like a lot. Instead of trying to just all in and break his opponent, he is actually just continuing to play behind it.
That is the problem, right? Rail is doing a decent job defending everything, and against a lesser Terran or a less aggressive Terran at the very least, I think he'd be doing an absolutely great job and already be on a fourth base and all that good stuff. But unfortunately, he has not been able to do anything to Botvinnik. And Botvinnik, he wasn't just dropping, he was macroing not only with fourth base, but also getting his tech advance. He did fall a little bit behind on the upgrades, but I think that's okay with the Liberators he has.
Is that Rail who shot his Disruptor? It didn't look like it moved into the Liberators.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, either way, he's going to try and push in. Now, these Liberators getting so many kills, so this goes on. There's no stalkers left to fight,
There's nothing
though.
to kill them.
This
one
is just,
Phoenix, man.
That's, we'll say it for him, guys. Good game. Botvinnik will take the series 2-0 and move on to fight against Strange next in the brackets. Now, some of you may be wondering, Rifkin and Zombie Grub, why are we staying up here? Cast some Zerg. And to you, I say no thank you, because it's only ZVZ elsewhere. I mean, don't get me wrong, I got no problem with ZVZ, guys. It's just, we kind of expected this to happen on the European brackets. The winner of this next series, so it's going to be Botvinnik versus Strange, will likely fight Elazer or sort of. Then on the bottom side, Zanster, Lambo look like strong contenders. Guru over Raynor, I think, versus Nurchio. So we got 2 qualifying matches after this next one, and they all look pretty good.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
What are you being a cheeky shit about?
Oh, Boris had a pretty good burn in the mod chat.
What am I missing here? God damn it.
I don't know if he wants to read out, out loud, so I'll just keep it a secret.
Whatever. Look, that thing was great. You and I, fuck the hating. That was a great drink, and we nailed the fuck out of that, dude. We drank the shit out of that Eldorado thing.
We shared a Eldorado.
It was. I kind of wish I saw Alba took some of the little like toys that came in it, but like with her, like,
the monkeys and stuff.
monkeys and snakes and things. I wish I had actually kept one of those, but man, I was too drunk and too happy from this jalapeno mac and cheese. Oh my god, I could go for that again. Actually, maybe not now. I feel like anything spicy, it makes my nose run. Want me to just make it hurt right now?
Ugh.
But okay, we're gonna go to a small break. A word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with more of the Ting Open. We're back, I guess. That was an awkward way to phrase it. Shut up and see you soon. It's not playing.